Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So today's project is using the Planners Anonymous Main Street kit to make a birthday card. This is something that's been highly requested by you guys, so I really wanted to get it done for you. So if you want to see how this one all came together, then just keep watching. Alright, so I always find that the stamps in these kits are the things that I use the least. So I'm going to try really hard today to make a birthday card using the gorgeous stamps from the Main Street kit. So what I'm going to start off with is just a plain piece of white cardboard. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this down to be the right size for my card. So I want to do an 11 by 16. So to do 11 by 16, you've got to do 22 by 16. So I'm just going to mark this sort of around the right spot. I'm not panicking too much if it's not exactly 11 by 16 because I don't care that much. Just getting my trimmer in. And I'm going to fold it. So you can do this with your scoring board if you want to. I'm just going to do it by hand. It's a little bit, I find it a little bit easier to get it right. Although that said, I'll probably still not get it right. But I am using a scorer to actually get the nice crisp sort of score line. Yeah, that's actually not too bad. So that's our 11. So now it's going to get the 16. So we'll just go from here. And there's our card. Ah, look, we're done. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that to you. Okay, so what I want to do is, I've got ink on my fingers because I've been playing with the ink this morning already. I'm just going to flip it over for now. So what I want to do is make a little kind of bit in the middle. So I'll sort of show you, this is what I've been playing with. This is my trying beforehand one. I'm not going to do it exactly the same as this. It'll be pretty close though. But I want to put the stamp of the balloons all around the outside, and then I'm going to put a piece of paper on the inside to put the happy birthday in. So to do that, what I did was I masked off the bit in the middle that I wanted. So this is actually from, I think this is from Aldi. This is a long time ago. But I'm going to use these to do post-it notes to kind of mark off where I want the border to be. I'm not measuring this, I'm just doing it by sight, but you can measure it if you want to. So I'm using 2 because they're not quite wide enough. I'm just making sure that where I stick this down, the line is as straight as I can make it so that it doesn't sort of go wonky. And then just going to use a little bit of washi tape just to hold it down so it doesn't sort of float up on me. Alright, and I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap paper. I'm going to put that underneath here just so that I don't get ink everywhere. The other thing I'm going to try, which I didn't do before, was I'm going to grab another square post-it note and just stamp out the balloons and then make a mask out of it. I was finding when I was doing it before, I couldn't get the balloons sort of really close to each other and they ended up covering. So I just want to have a mask in case I want to use it. So I'm just grabbing the balloons off, just grabbing my stamp block, grabbing my ink. I'm using my Versafine again, but I was playing using my Memento one the other day and they work just as good as each other. Oops, this is where I get ink on my fingers. So all I'm doing is inking up but not getting it on the sail sort of bit at the bottom. Whoops, it's alright, doesn't matter. So I've got my balloons down and I'm just going to cut that out sort of roughly. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. You just want it to be able to cover the balloon shape. Alright, so we've got our little mask there. I don't know how often we'll use it, but it's better to have it and not use it than the other way around. Alright, so I'm going to start from the top corner and work my way around. I'm going to speed through this because I'm not probably going to be talking the whole way through. But it's always just keep as much ink not on the sail as you can. If you do happen to get some ink on it, because I did a lot when I was doing this the first time, it's just get a baby wipe it off. I'll just show you the first couple and then I'll start speeding through. So you're just putting that down and then it's up to you then whether you want to use the mask. I'll show you sort of what it looks like when you do. So because I put that on the part where the sticky was for the post-it note, that bit's not gonna come through. And if there is a bit that doesn't fit, I can easily then just sort of fix it up with some black marker, which is what I'll do afterwards. So I'm gonna keep going around the edge, and you just sort of move them height-wise so that they all sit at different levels. And then because we've got that mask, we can come back and add in more if we need to. When you get to this edge, you just need to come back from the top again. And that's just because of the strings. You don't want the strings to be underneath. It sort of won't quite work. If you want to, you can obviously put this a little bit higher up, like you can clean off all the ink. I'll show you what I mean. I always just dry it a little bit, just if I'm going to use it straight away. So just rub my finger over it. So just get it just on the balloon, so not so much on the strings. Because I don't mind if I have to sort of draw these back in, I'm not panicking too much. But if you see on that one, there's no string whatsoever. So that sort of helps out if you do want to go that up way instead of the down way. I kind of like the down way. I don't know why. I think it works better. Alright, so once you've finished, just clean off your ink, not your ink pad, your stamp pad, just your stamp. I'll get my words in a sec. So then what we're going to do is colour in. So this one I used black. The next one I'm not going to use black. I'm just going to grab the piece of paper that I want to put in the middle. Just get everything else out of the way. So I'm trying to decide if I want to put the presents or if I want to put the blue. And I think I'm leaning towards the presents. So in that case, I might colour this around the outside in teal. I think I'll do it in teal. So, this is where I actually get to use my Tombos on camera, because you guys know I very rarely do. So I'll just grab them down off their shelf. And this is the fun part about having scrap paper too. You can just sort of play with it until I work out which colour I want to use. Who knew there were so many different shades of teal? I think that's the one. So I'm going to colour in all around where the balloons are. So I'm going to leave the mask on there because that way I've used that. But I'm also going to use just a plain black stapler just to fill in anywhere where I want to put the balloons or want to make the balloons sort of join up. Might actually need to use a slightly thicker marker. I have got another thick one, I'll just have to go and grab it. I'll give this a shot for a minute anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and do all of the filling in and the colouring, and I'll be right back. Okay, so it's all coloured in. I did make a slight boo-boo with one of the balloons and I kind of coloured it in when I didn't mean to. But I think that's honestly the best part about doing cards is that, oh, or doing handmade cards at least, is that if there is an imperfection, like a couple of the times the ink isn't quite right, it's not coloured in perfectly, that's kind of the point of a homemade card, isn't it? That it's not perfect, because if we wanted it to be perfect, we'd, you know, buy them from the shops and all. So when you take the mask away, you're left with this, actually pretty good. That works. I was really worried that the brush marker would have got underneath that and kind of not made it right. This is a completely unnecessary step because we are going to cover it up, but I just feel like it's not quite finished until I do this. So I'm just going to draw in a line around the outside here, and then I'll kind of mark in the extra bits so that it looks like it's actually sort of right up to the line. Completely unnecessary because you are going to cover this up, but I think it makes it look a little bit better. And then just anywhere where kind of hasn't quite got to that line, I'm just going to ink that back in again. Doesn't matter if you go over. Just adds a little bit of polish to it, that's all. So for the next bit, I'm a little worried about that colour combo now, it doesn't look right, but anyway. So it's 7.5, 7.7. So I'm going to cut just a little bit more than that because I want it to sit just over the edge, and I'm actually going to raise it up so it sits a little higher. So if that's 7.7, I'm going to make this 7.8. Actually, I'll make it 8. Can always make it smaller, can't make it bigger. So it's kind of like the opposite of doing a shaker. So a shaker, we'd cut that out and put stuff behind it. This is sort of covering it up instead. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some foam tape on the back. This is just normal Express It foam tape, nothing too thrilling here. Depends on what you want to do. You could make this double height, which would then sort of, it'd stand out a little bit more, but I think I'm not going to do that this time. I might put some extra foam tape on the happy birthday sentiment just to give that a bit of zhuzh, but I haven't worked that out yet. So I'm just going to do 3. I always cut one just a little bit too long. You can do it all around the edges if you wanted. You could do it the whole sort of stack of it. Don't think it's necessary. This is where that finishing sort of line helps. So because you can, hopefully you guys can see that, the line actually kind of fills that in, and it makes it, when you do look at it from the wrong angle, you can see there's actually a line down there. You could stamp the whole thing if you wanted to and just have happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. You could also colour in the balloons, and I'm kind of contemplating colouring them in yellow just because I think something doesn't quite look right at the moment. And then I've just noticed a bit of balloon I forgot to colour in, so I'm just going to fix that up. Alright, I think I'm going to leave the balloons white, at least for now. I can always come back and change that if I want to. But I do want to put a happy birthday sentiment sort of here. So I'm going to grab the one out of the stamp kit. So it's just here, and it just says happy birthday. Absolutely perfect. And I'm going to put it on, I've got a bit of spare down here. I think I'll put it sort of just here, and then I'll just sort of fussy cut it out. And I'm just going to fussy cut this one. So sort of whatever shape comes out is fine. Just trying to make it look interesting by not being sort of a straight line. Although a straight line might actually look really cool considering, oh, actually, I think either way would be fine. Just depends on what you want to do. Get your card back in. Now this next part, you can seriously, you can put this anywhere you like. You can put it up the top, down the bottom, right in the middle. You can put it up on foam tape. You can leave it flat. I'm going to put it on foam tape only because I have this extra bit anyway, so you might as well. Working out where I want to put it. I'm just using my tweezers just so I can sort of hold it somewhere. I don't know why, I'm kind of liking it right in the middle. I'm going to put it right there because it kind of has a bit of a gap between all the gifts anyway. There we you go. Okay. I'm just looking at it going, do I need to add something to this? Because it's something's just not quite what I want it to be. So I'm just grabbing my stamps, just seeing what I've got. The more I look at it, the more I'm happy with it. I think that's okay. I'm not going to do anything on the inside, only because I like getting blank cards. It means I can either write a lot, or I can sort of ink out or do bits and pieces on the inside if I want to. What would be really cool is maybe doing like a border around the outside so that you kind of fix up any of these little bits. I've obviously got a bit of a thing on the back here. There is, and I'm going to do one thing, just one. Just going to grab this little signpost or shop sign kind of thing, because there is one of the stamp kits has this really cute made with love kind of little sign thing, and I kind of love that idea. So I just want to have something on here that just says made with love. I'm just going to write it in myself. I'm going to leave the non-perfect parts of that. I'm just going to let that dry. So tiny little detail, but I think it looks really cute. And that is my Main Street Kit birthday card. I hope you guys did enjoy this one. It's a different thing to use sort of a shopping kit with a birthday card. You kind of don't think they go together, but there's something really cool about those balloons. I think they fit really nicely, and then the gifts with the paper look really cool as well. The stamp kits are underappreciated in the Planners Anonymous kits. I'm the first one to admit I very rarely use them. I am trying to make it a bit of an effort to use them a little bit more often, because they are beautiful and they can be used in so many different ways. So if you want to see more projects using these stamp kits, let me know down below, or you can find me on any of my social medias. Don't forget to give this one a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any future videos. Hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week, and I will see you again on Wednesday. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!